Every morning, you wake up to the same headlines, the same stories, the same version of the truth. But what if there's more they're not telling you? This is The Suppressed Signal, where we explore the stories behind the story and the questions no one wants asked. This program discusses speculative topics, alternative theories, and unverified claims. It is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion and critical thinking are strongly encouraged. And remember, the truth is out there.
Good morning. It's 8 minutes after 8 o'clock. It is time for The Suppressed Signal. Now, due to the wonders of modern technology, this is to benefit into the future. 3 days from now, Saturday morning. This is going to get replayed at 6 in the morning. So it's so for those in the future. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Saturday morning.
How are you fellers?
8 minutes after the hour. Kenny Kendrick, Mark Kendrick, the Kendrick brothers, The Suppressed Signal. The first off, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I won't say taking any wooden nickels lately, but
No.
well, you guys look good this morning, like your shirts. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, I did. I've been at camp meeting all weekend.
You've been at camp meeting all weekend.
You sure have.
Off and on, yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, Vicky?
Well, he's talking about the camp meeting at Tabernacle.
Yep.
And so I went out there and did a hometown Tuesday on it for next week. It was fairly impressive. It's fairly impressive. And Miss Sue even impressed me even more. So we'll be talking about that later on. But today, folks, we're talking about a topic that has been around for many, many, many years. And I talked to listen, here's what's weird. I woke up this morning. My wife's gone to Knoxville. She gets on the radio not the radio, but the phone with me this morning. She goes, "Do you know that I have always been a JFK conspiracy, like really into the whole JFK thing," right?
Wow.
She's followed it, and now she's not a conspiracy theorist at all. But this is one topic that she's really looking forward to.
This is the one that got me started.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'd have to say this is the one case that's got a lot of people started. I think this, as to borrow a phrase from your brother Kenny, I think this is what started to get the sleep out of people's eyes.
Right.
Is the JFK assassination. I mean, it's just so out there. As far as there's so many questions that years later still have not been answered, and the government's still sitting on classified information that concerns the JFK assassination.
That's exactly what bothers me, is they did an entire investigation, and then they sealed all the records.
Yeah.
So
For
why?
75 years or something like that?
Yeah, it's been what, about 64 years
Right.
since the assassination, and we still got a lot of questions. And just some of the things that now we're going to try to go chronologically and form a timeline, but let's talk briefly about some of the things that were going on before the assassination that brought in several players. You have the Kennedy's relationship with the mob, with the mafia, who did help him swing Illinois, the state, during the election.
Yes.
Promises were made. Joe Kennedy, that is John F. Kennedy's father, rumor has it that he made his money back during the Depression running liquor and alcohol.
During Prohibition.
Yeah, during Prohibition.
Right.
And he had ties with the mafia, and certain promises were made. Then you have Robert Kennedy, who got in as the Attorney General and started his own little war against the mafia.
Yes.
Then you have the Bay of Pigs.
Yes.
Which...
And the whole nuclear missile crisis, too.
But now the missiles of October, the October missile crisis, I don't see where that would have made anybody mad on our side, other than that might have got the Russians involved because he did back down Khrushchev. He did back him down.
Yeah.
Now, the CIA was mad at him because of the failure of the Bay of Pigs, which, if you look at the Bay of Pigs, you really can't fault John F. Kennedy. He was given that plan. Eisenhower and the CIA under Eisenhower come up and did the cost cutting. It was just cost cutting. And plus, we backed the wrong people because they weren't
Well, the interesting thing about Bay of Pigs,
Yes, go ahead.
is the invasion force
Yeah,
was Cuban nationals
Right.
that were going back to take their country back
right.
from Castro. And one of the big reasons that the invasion failed, the plan failed, is because the supply ships did not come
Right.
in to resupply them.
right.
And several of them were sunk.
And they had no air force. They had no air
Exactly.
support.
And that's what we were supposed to
right,
provide.
right. The CIA was supposed to provide them,
Yes.
but didn't. And the plan was supposed to have been bigger, but I think Robert McNamara got hold of it and cut some cost.
Well, and then the speech he made, where he said he was going to shatter the agency into a million pieces.
Right. So he already had enemies with the mafia because his brother and his dad.
On top of that,
Right.
he was going to put the money back on a silver backing, which would have destroyed the Fed.
Right. So he had made some enemies. And there's a lot of things going on in the world back then. And, he backed down the Russians. So were the Russians involved? This war with the mafia, was the mafia involved? And, of course, with the CIA, was the CIA?
Right.
Or was it a combination of all three working together? Because they all three had something to gain. And then you got Lyndon Johnson, who already had a bad reputation in Texas, when coming up.
Yes.
Been accused of all kinds of nefarious things. During the primaries, them two went at it tooth and nail, Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson, because
Right.
Johnson was from the South, Kennedy was from the North. Johnson was a Protestant, Kennedy
He
was
was
a
a
Catholic. That was a real big thing about our Catholic president. Would he be
Right.
taking orders from the Pope, or would he be listening to Congress?
That's right.
Right? And then the Democratic Party put them two on the same ticket. They didn't want to be on the same ticket, but they had to win the election. So you got four players. Now, did they all work together, or did one person or one agency do it?
So interesting fact, if you jump forward, there was a situation just like that in 1980 with Reagan and Bush running for president. So we'll get to that because I think that has some bearing on it.
Yeah, that is. But when we were talking earlier, and we're going to get right back to JFK, but next week's show, I am going to come in with my eyes wide open. Okay.
All righty.
But let's get back to the JFK case.
Okay, so two things that I looked at that I think have a big bearing on it was on June 4th, and the dates are important. On June 4th of 1963,
Right.
Kennedy signed Executive Order number 10289, and it delegated the Secretary of the Treasury the President's authority to issue silver certificates. Okay, so that's a big
Silver
thing.
certificate.
Silver certificate.
Explain what a silver certificate is.
So it's like a bond, but it is backed by precious metal,
Okay.
silver, obviously.
Gotcha. I got you.
And so it would have altered the weight of the monetary system. And it's been said that it would have taken some of the power away from the Fed, which is, I think, one of the things that plays into this. And if you look at earlier and later events, then it indicates that would happen.
Yeah, and remember that the Fed was created, put in place in 1916. They created it in 13, and they finally got implemented in 16, which controlled the monetary system. They had complete control of it, and Kennedy was fixing to upend all of that.
Right. Exactly. And then the other thing was, and this lends itself to the military-industrial complex,
Right.
is that on a public statement issued on October 2nd of 1963, declared the intention to withdraw 1,000 soldiers from Vietnam by the end of 1963. And so that would signal a complete withdrawal eventually.
Right.
There were 16, almost 17,000 troops in Vietnam at the time. Most of those
We're advisors, right?
were advisors. They did have some support infrastructure there for those advisors, but the majority of them were advisors. And so starting to pull those personnel out was an indication of, I believe, what Kennedy wanted to do is pull out completely.
And back then, we were scared of the communists, the domino theory. If we would have let Vietnam fall, it'd just keep going all over in Southeast Asia.
Fight communism on foreign soil rather than your home soil.
Right.
So basically, when Kennedy came in, obviously he won. Did they have a mark on him already coming in? What was their relationship? What was the relationship between JFK and the CIA at that time?
I'll let Mark feel that one because he's a little bit more fluent in it.
Well, I know who was the CIA director at that time. I wonder. Was it George? It wasn't George Bush.
No.
But he was at one time.
He was now then. That's a name that's going to come up in discussion
Dulles?
again.
Was it Dulles? One of the Dulles brothers?
Maybe so.
Yeah.
I can't remember right offhand. But
So something that's interesting is President Eisenhower actually warned of the takeover of the military-industrial complex.
Yes.
He said, if we don't guard against it, this will happen.
Because he had went through something prior in the 50s, correct, or early 60s.
When he was the president, he could see
there was something that he
the powers.
knew. The powers to be.
Right.
well,
He was in the military, and he saw how much
Absolutely.
Corruption.
during the war, he saw how much profit is made.
well, I was going to just say that the bankers count. I mean, they start them, and they fund both sides. So there's all kind of money to be made. Plus, when you've got generals that have got stock in these companies that are making these military products,
Right.
the longer the war goes on, the more money they make.
Right.
So they stand to lose a lot of money too. So the theme running through this is he's messing with folks' money.
Right. Exactly. And in answer to the question about the CIA director was John McCone.
McCone, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And he was appointed by President Kennedy, November 29 of 61, served until April 65. He managed the agency during the aftermath of the Cuban Missile Crisis and the assassination. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So he got in as a presidency. And later on down the line, a lot more interesting things started happening. He starts finding out a lot about kind of the inside, okay? And I mean the inside on a lot of different angles. And I know one of them was the military complex. I know that was one of them. And talk a little bit more about, how he got involved with, this Area 51 thing. He got involved with that. He found that information from that. And we'll talk about it later on about how he told Marilyn Monroe on a one-night stance. And that's an interesting part of this topic. So
Right.
we'll get to that. But
So jumping forward, a fact that I didn't know until I had done some research is there were one former vice president and two future presidents that happened to be in Dallas on November 22nd.
wow.
Was that a coincidence?
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Right.
It's hard to say, but Richard Nixon.
He was there.
And George H.W. Bush
Bush.
were both in Dallas. on
What were
November
their roles at that time?
Nixon was there as an attorney for Pepsi Cola, and there was some kind of deal that they were working on. And of course, he was the former vice president and ran for president in 1960 against Kennedy. And actually, I think he actually won the popular vote, but lost the electoral college. So there's a precedent there that has been a grind for some people
Mark, what was the main
in the future.
topic of conversation when President Kennedy came into office that a lot of people didn't agree with at that time, especially the CIA or the government? Did they have something against him?
Well, I think once he made that speech, once he became president,
The famous speech.
where he said he was going to shatter the agency into 1,000 pieces.
Right.
In other words, I'm doing away with it. I'm going to dismantle it. And these guys are into everything. They go into other countries. They set up governments. They organize. They create chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And so when there's a lot of money involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're looking at it doing that, and these people are, they're the ones that control things. So it's like, hey, you're not going to be able to do that anymore. And like, well, we'll see about that.
Right. And here's something that also, the guy that John McCone, he took over the CIA.
CIA director.
The CIA, that JFK appointed him.
Right.
Oh, really?
And he was complicit in hiding the information from the Warren Commission. But you know who McCone replaced? The father of the CIA, Dulles.
Oh.
Because Kennedy sacked Dulles because of the failed Bay of Pigs invasion.
So you've got
So
a
there you
disgruntled
go.
employee now.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah. And,
Very disgruntled.
Ooh.
And it says here, and just
Wow,
brief, I
dude.
mean, all you got to do, I mean, it's this
right
conspiracy's
there.
right out there.
It's black and white.
But it says that McCain had one overriding mission: restore order of the besieged CIA. Kennedy hoped his management skills might prevent a future debacle, even if the California, mostly stranger to the Washington insiders. After the assassination in Dallas, Johnson kept McCain in place at the CIA, and the CIA director became an important witness before the Warren Commission. McCain pledged full cooperation with the commission, which was led by Earl Warren, and he later suggested that there was no evidence that Lee Harvey was part of any conspiracy. He's the one that said Lee Harvey was the lone wolf.
He was the one that he was the fall guy.
Yeah, he's the one that said.
Oh, he absolutely.
Do you think Lee Harvey Oswald? I mean, he was.
He was saying it when he was shot.
Did they? What was his background?
What was it?
Does anybody know?
Former
What was Lee?
Marine.
Okay.
He was a former Marine. He was married to
A Russian national.
Russian-
he went to Russia. He wanted to become a citizen. He worked in a factory. And,
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yes. And the people that watched him in Russia, first they watched when he first got there.
Okay.
Then they realized, well, he was just a regular guy. Well, his supervisors at the factory he worked at said he was a subpar worker. He showed up late. He didn't socialize.
It wasn't that reliable.
Yeah, he wasn't that reliable. And then he came back with his Russian bride.
Okay.
And him and his Russian bride fought a lot. But he came back, and then he started working for a pro-Cuban organization.
Now we're talking.
Handing out leaflets in New Orleans.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's where he was spotted, and that's where they say that he got hooked up
This gig.
with the assassination and this whole conspiracy.
Wow.
Right, there are those who say he was recruited for.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. Now we're
And
getting
that's
to it.
why the lawyer who the movie JFK was based on wanted to file charges because the conspiracy was born, he said, in New Orleans.
Yes,
Because
that's right.
all the major players, even Jack Ruby had a nightclub in
New
Yes,
Orleans.
he did.
He
Yeah.
wasn't from Dallas.
Right.
He got sent to Dallas.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, he wasn't
Hey.
from Dallas. And Lee Harvey Oswald, when they were taking him, where were they taking him to? Were they about to interrogate him again? Because he was saying he was a patsy.
Now you're talking about the transport from one place to the
When
other.
he got
right.
shot, where was he going to?
Where was he? Yeah.
He had been held for 2 days, I think.
Yeah, because he hadn't been charged with killing the president.
And the Dallas police had custody of him. Mm-hmm. Two Dallas police officers were actually escorting him when he was shot,
Right.
which is unusual to me because,
Right.
I mean, there's all the whole jurisdiction thing, but you would think that a man who supposedly just assassinated the president would be in federal custody.
Yeah,
You would
That makes sense.
right.
that's one of those odd things to me.
That's pretty much standard.
But
You know,
now they
yeah.
didn't have. Now maybe that law wasn't in place then. Maybe that proceeded. I don't know. But
It just seems odd to me.
yeah, we're going to take a break. And
Yeah.
we're going to take a break. When we come back, we've got more about this.
Fellas, this is getting deep. And we're talking. You're listening to the Spread Signal. We're talking about the JFK assassination. Very interesting topic, and we left off. With Lee Harvey Oswald.
He was headed to the county jail. They were
Right.
taking him from the Dallas Police Department's basement because
Right.
he did shoot a police officer.
Yes, he
killed
did.
him.
Oh,
Yes,
he
shot
did.
a police officer after the assassination.
Yeah,
Oh.
supposedly.
Tibbetts,
Tibbetts,
yeah.
Tibbetts.
And he was being transferred to the county jail. That was the only thing he was charged
Tippett,
with.
yeah.
Tibbet, yeah.
Was a probably attempted murder.
Well, murder because didn't the deputy or the police officer died because
He did.
Oh,
He
okay.
did.
So yeah,
he pulled
homicide.
him over and they picked him up. He was hiding in a movie theater during
Oh.
a movie, but he had pulled him over in a neighborhood after after the assassination, and Lee Harvey shot the cop and killed him.
Oh, wow, I
And
didn't
that's
know
what Lee
that.
Harvey was charged with. That's why, but
But he was under investigation for the.
he was just a suspect.
Yes, he was just a
Right,
suspect.
right.
In
So,
the assassination of the president, he was just a suspect.
so he had returned home supposedly after he had shot Kennedy,
Right.
and retrieved a pistol. And that's when he was leaving home. Then the police officer pulled him over, I guess, and that's when he shot him.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
And-
he was actually charged with the murder of the police officer, but was not yet charged with the.
Exactly.
Now the guy was he was transported, like Drew said, from the attic. He was under investigation for the possible assassination of JFK. The guy that shot him was standing at a phone booth, and I think everybody kind of saw this.
Jack Ruby.
Jack Ruby. This picture. When he turned around, it was really funny that a lot of conspiracists say that the angle that they were carrying him or transporting him from one place to the other, you could see them kind of turn. Go ahead.
They kind of turned him toward
Yes.
Jack Ruby,
Yes.
and they kind of stepped back out of the way. They
Out of the way.
kind of spread.
I mean, if you go
Oswald's
back
arms
and see
out.
it, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So who was Jack Ruby? Does
he had ties. He was a local thug, wasn't he? And he had a strip joint. He had
so he was
He
the
was
guy.
a-
He was the guy, the Jack Ruby that had the strip joint.
Yeah.
Right.
And also he had one in New Orleans, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he was pretty prominent.
Right, but
Business
his-
guy.
he had known connections in
Yes.
the criminal underworld.
Thank you. That's the way to address it.
So why
Yes.
would they? So are they? So are they?
But he said, now Jack Ruby said the reason why
That
he
there's
did
my next
it
question. Yeah.
was because it was his president and it was his patriotic duty.
And he didn't want
What?
Jacqueline Kennedy to have to testify
Right.
Uh-oh.
at the trial
Uh-oh.
and have to relive everything.
Now we're
but
talking.
he had cancer.
what?
Well, he was
terminal
diagnosed.
cancer.
Jack Ruby had cancer.
He was diagnosed with cancer after the fact.
Oh, okay, okay.
it was-
So how does this Jacqueline Kennedy thing play into this?
She
So-
was America's sweetheart.
Well,
Yes.
I get that, but I'm talking about with the whole Jack Ruby thing.
Well, Jack Ruby decided, I guess, that it would be so painful for the first lady to have to testify at a trial.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she was
right there.
right there,
Right.
and he didn't want her to have to do that,
Right.
according to his
Now,
statement.
And her actions debunk
yes.
the ballistics
So
because she
Go ahead,
reached
let's
back
talk
and
about
pulled
that.
His head back. But no, let's finish up with.
Oh yeah, okay.
So anyway, Jack Ruby had connections with the criminal underworld,
Right.
and it's when you look at the video footage of when Oswald is shot, it's very
Obvious.
obvious. I guess you would say that
Yeah.
that they knew who Jack Ruby was
Right.
and what he was there for.
So okay. So they pinned Jack Ruby on Lee Harvey Oswald's death. Lee Harvey Oswald shoots a cop. They're questioning him. The point of the shot was in this building, what 7 stories high? I don't. What building was that?
The
Book depository.
Dallas Book
And
Depository.
they say he.
School Book Depository.
They made the same mistake. Well, I was thinking of that line in Full Metal Jacket where that guy said he shot her from that school the suppository. Everybody like,
Suppository. Yeah. But what did they find up there, Mark, and by the or Kenny, by the up there at the place of the
spot
shooting?
They found the rifle.
They just found the rifle.
They found his hide, his sniper hide is what
Yeah.
they call it, the place that he supposedly made the shot from, an open window and a rifle.
Now they're
His rifle?
They're saying
Don't know.
that that his angle, if I'm not mistaken, his angle, in reference to where the car was almost impossible for him to be shot in the area that he was shot in.
So, what's interesting is, in the aftermath of all this, there were, I don't know what agency they were with, but I would say probably FBI marksmen, sharpshooters, snipers that tried to duplicate the shots, because Oswald supposedly fired 3 shots
with bolt action Italian arm, or with an old action
Italian Carcano military rifle, and it
only
was
fired once and dropped once. No, never been fired, only dropped once.
It was. They attempted to do what Oswald supposedly did.
They replicated it
and attempted to replicate it. And these expert marksmen
could not
replicate it completely. The speed,
the ballistic
at which the shots were taken,
right in that area,
right
that angle.
The bolt action rifle. Mm-hmm. It takes a little bit to cycle to action,
right?
And the timing and the actual angle and the making those shots was
okay. We're going to talk about
difficult.
the shots, the ballistic, and the aftermath when we come back.
Boy, I tell you what, guys, we just getting all into this. You know, now when I go to a store and somebody gives me change, I look at the change and I look at them like,
Really.
All because of you, Kenny. All because of you.
Yeah. Back to the ballistics. That's fun.
Okay, so they attempted to replicate what Oswald supposedly did, and they had extreme difficulty
doing that.
Moving target at the angle it was, and
And now an interesting theory was about the driver.
Right. So it hasn't been that long. I think that I saw some material on this topic,
right?
Maybe 6 months ago,
right?
And it is a theory, and of course, the driver of the limousine had a handgun, and that the driver fired, I don't know if it's the first or second shot, but what most people don't realize is that the film that was shown of the assassination was edited. Film. It was edited.
Yeah, it's been edited.
And it's very obvious that it was, if you pay attention, because there is a tree that does not touch the ground. It's hanging in midair. So the film obviously had been spliced.
Mm-hmm. So what are you saying? There's a tree hanging in the midair in reference to what?
So as they were driving down the street, there was a tree on the grass, far side of the street from where the video, the film, is 8mm film, I'm guessing,
yes,
was being shot. And if you look at it, the tree, the film that they showed us,
right,
the tree is just hanging in midair, like it doesn't go all the way to the ground.
Like the base.
The base of the tree is not on the ground.
Like the editing was bad.
Right.
Yes, it was terrible.
Cut something
It was
out.
fast.
And then they turned around, just saved it, and sent it off.
Now,
I have got to go back and look at that.
I would like to point out, since we're on the subject of the bullet,
the
Warren Commission come up with a very good theory on the traveling of a bullet. Because, the governor of Texas...
the magic bullet theory.
Yes, the governor...
The magic bullet theory.
The governor of Texas was in the front seat.
Yes.
And he was hit in the wrist. Right? By a bullet.
Right. It come through
the wrist and the leg.
Right.
Now, despite the magical bullet, and maybe I should save this for next week, but if the governor was there sitting next to the driver, I don't think the driver could have pulled a gun out unless he shot the governor first. because he would have to pull the gun out.
I wouldn't see him shooting the governor first if his goal mission was to shoot the president.
Right.
Yeah, but how come the governor didn't see him shoot? There's no way.
Okay, here, look, we take a step back.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the film being altered.
Doctored.
Right.
So why would they alter it? They're covering something up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Go back to George H.W. Bush being there.
Right.
Oh boy.
He's the guy
Yeah.
Here we go.
that set up the 7 shooting teams, 7 sniper teams.
Keep going.
So to cover up any, because people were hearing bullets from everywhere.
Yeah.
And he was in Dallas under the guise of meeting between some oil companies because he was with an oil drilling company.
What
And
was
the reason they know he was there was because he panicked
I made a phone call.
and he made a phone call to the office.
Mark.
A tip. He made a
He made a phone call.
Yeah.
And the phone call was established.
Okay.
And that's how they knew he was there. If he hadn't done that, they'd have never known it.
Oh my.
You see, and
Oh, wow,
Now,
Drew. Check
I
that
do
out.
believe. Now, I do believe that maybe the driver might have been part of the team as the ultimate fail-safe.
Right.
That if somehow 7 shooter teams missed the president,
He was the guy to be there.
you're our
Hey,
last
you know
hope.
that's possible.
You're our
one
last hope.
documentary I
That's a
saw.
good
One
analogy.
documentary I saw. There's a mark, a white mark on the curb,
Right.
and if you watch the film, the car slows down almost to a stop
Really?
right at that mark. So
And there's a mark on the curb that's
on the curb.
visible.
This documentary theorized that the kill shot, the supposed kill shot, came from the gutter.
Yeah, I believe that.
Okay. Keep
When you
going.
stop,
From
slow
the
down,
sewer drain,
boom,
yeah.
you take the shot, and,
Right.
and they take off like a rocket.
Oh, they do. It's
And the guy in the sewer just walks away.
Yeah, and that would explain why.
Because you would think
his
that everybody-
head went back,
right.
and when it went forward, that's when his wife grabbed
The back.
started going out of the back, and she grabbed the
It
back
would
of
also
his
explain-
skull and put it back on his head. And
It
got
would
back in
also
the car.
explain the guys in suits that had muddy shoes.
Now talk about that.
Well, they said they had several folks that they stopped. And they all had these fairly nice suits on, but they all had muddy shoes, and they couldn't figure out why. And it didn't make any sense. It didn't fit with any work detail that was going on in the area.
Well, because it was a grassy area. There was no mud.
Right.
Where are they getting the mud?
In the sewer.
Oh my.
And then, of course, you have the people, the guy behind the fence. Then you have the guy behind there was a couple people behind a fence that were spotted.
Right.
That had guns that
Now,
just
one of them-
disappeared in the crowd.
One of those I heard was a prototype that Remington came out with was a pistol that shot a rifle round. It's because of XP 100.
XP 100.
and also there has been reports of fake police officers.
Right.
I mean, they had so.
Oh, kind of like the
I mean-
remake of the Jackal.
And then
Yeah.
and then
Oh my.
and then you have what happened after all the stuff that happened afterwards.
Yeah.
Why were stories changed? We're going to touch on that next week. There were several stuff.
Give us some typical questions that definitely would need to be looked into.
Why was the medical examiner made to go back out in front of the press an hour later,
Right.
and change his findings?
And the coroner was made to change
Yeah.
the autopsy report.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The coroner.
Yeah.
He had to go back out on TV an hour later.
And say, well, no, he didn't get shot from the front. He got shot from
Can
the
I
back.
ask you? Can I ask you? And then we're going to talk about this too, because I've always kind of been intrigued with this with Jacqueline Kennedy as well, because she plays a lot. They say now that she plays a large role into this. That's a question to be asked. But also the Marilyn Monroe connection with JFK. Well, he was a ladies' man.
Yeah, he was a ladies' man. And yeah, she was probably
I want to touch. I want to
because
touch
of him.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say she's knocked off because. Well, yeah, I would say she's knocked off because of him. But there was a lot of stuff that she knew.
Well, yeah.
More information she knew than she needed to know.
Well, that connected him. More,
And that lot
connected
more
him,
connected
That
him.
connected him to the mafia.
that and a lot of
because,
other things.
you
I'm
know,
going to throw this one at you.
Yeah.
Plus, she was doing both the brothers.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was fooling
So,
around with Robert,
She's fooling around with both brothers.
So
yeah.
what if some of this was faked?
Okay.
There's a theory out there.
I tell you what, let's take a break and go to that.
Yeah,
there
let's
you go.
do that. We'll be
yeah. And that's how we'll wrap the show up.
Okay.
Because
And
we're
we'll-
going to talk more about this next week.
right. We'll be right back. I just wish that people were I wish people were on the wall out here. Just hear these.
No, we need two separate shows. One when we go to commercial break.
Yeah, it's called behind. Drew, it's called behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
we're talking about the JFK conspiracy. Right off the bat, Kenny said something, and I want you to say what you said to me and Drew and Mark and to the listeners.
Okay, so I always look at things like
This really,
this investigation by the Warren Commission. It was 18 months or so,
Man.
something like that.
Right.
And at the end of 18 months,
yeah,
they seal all the records. They seal the files, and they made a blanket statement about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone shooter. That's way too convenient.
Mm-hmm.
But why do they seal the files?
For how
Why
many-
do they seal any files?
How long after and how long did they? Are they still sealed? I'm sure.
They seal them for a minimum of 50 years when they do that. And
Didn't they put an
you have to
extension
ask
on these?
yourself, beg pardon?
Didn't they put an extension on these?
I think so.
I think they
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Go ahead, Mark.
Why'd they
so,
do that?
So, well, maybe it's because somebody was
Was
still
president?
alive.
Or maybe because somebody was still president?
So,
No, somebody's child was president at the time?
Oh, nice.
so
All right.
you have to look at that.
You don't seal the files, Kenny. I mean that for that long.
Well,
I mean, it's a pretty big investigation.
Why is all that information classified? Why do you classify information and seal files?
To where you can't get into it or know anything about it.
To prevent people from seeing the information.
Are they still sealed to this day?
Yes.
No, they've let some of it out,
Right.
but
Trump
not all
made
of it.
he
Yeah.
made a promise that he was going
disclosed
to release some
a
of
lot
the
it.
Kennedy files.
Right.
And I think they've released some of
Right,
them.
right.
But why do you do that? And then you have to look at the fact that two future presidents were in Dallas that day. You have to look at
Who? Bush. Who's the other
Richard Nixon and George H.
George
Bush.
H.W. Bush was
Nixon?
there.
Oh, the man that Kennedy beat in the election.
Was there. What if he had something to do with it?
Who knows?
one? Not Tricky Dick.
Hey,
Mark, you said something. You had a good point as well.
I was saying a while ago, what if the autopsy, the whole thing was altered or perhaps even faked, because they say, this is just what I've read, that Officer Tippett had a very similar look to JFK, and that possibly the bodies were switched in flight to D.C.
So
because Johnson and Jackie were flying on one plane and were flying the president back on the other, and they had a surgeon on that plane.
that's what that
What?
would explain why. That would explain
surgeon?
why Johnson
Wait a
wanted to
minute.
be sworn in on the plane back.
on the way back.
Yeah,
Now
that would explain
Because
that.
you can't have the leaders. You can't. I don't know, guys. I don't know.
You don't know about this one?
I don't know about this theory, but I can tell Mark believes it.
Well, it raises a lot more questions.
okay, so you don't believe, but you just raises questions. Okay,
It's something that I'd like to look at, but the stuff that I've looked into that says possibly
Yeah.
JFK did live through it. Mm-hmm. So if he was alive, then the autopsy pictures are false.
And why would they make the coroner change?
because they wanted to pin it on Oswald, and they needed proof.
And here's another one. Here's
That's why
another
They
question.
wanted to pin it on Oswald, the guy in the book depository,
Exactly.
way up high, making the impossible shot.
And another question for next week for me is, JFK had ties in with Marilyn Monroe, and they both died not too far apart from each other.
Right.
And they were connected. So how do you,
So she
what
obviously,
are the
she
odds?
obviously knew something.
Right, she obviously knew
Oh,
something.
yeah.
What are the odds?
Well, she
what are
kept
the odds,
calling the
Kenny?
White
Yeah.
House, and she kept calling Robert office, and she kept calling the White House, wanting to talk to the president.
Right,
and she had told people, she had told his inner circle.
Got some information.
Well, if he didn't talk to her, she was going to start talking to some of the stuff that he had talked about.
Right.
And she was,
she was upset.
She knew some stuff about some pretty heavy people.
Well, yeah, and
some gangsters and some people in Hollywood. Frank, here's another theory. Did you guys know? Real quick, because we're going to have to go. He dissed Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra wanted an audience with John F. Kennedy so bad, and even helped push him over the edge in Illinois.
Right. Yes, he did.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Frank Sinatra, they said, okay, he'll come to your house. Well, Frank Sinatra redid his house.
Yeah.
Remodeled, spent lots of money. And then at the last minute, John F. Kennedy didn't show up. Was over at somebody else's house in California.
No.
Went to say, and they said Frank was really,
Frank's connected now. Frank's
was
connected.
Yeah.
There's another interesting tidbit about that, and that is that Kennedy was going to fire J. Edgar Hoover.
Yep.
He was going to fire him until Hoover
Had some stuff.
he invited Hoover to the White House for breakfast, and it was rumored that he was going to fire him. Hoover brought a folder with him and showed it to him, and after Hoover left, he still had his job.
Now, we're going to continue this topic next week.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to focus next week on the actual assassination and all the redacted statements and change of testimonies and everything that was changed afterwards.
Yes.
The aftermath of the assassination.
Right.
Because there were some prominent people that wound up disappearing within a year.
Exactly.
So stay tuned.
Yeah,
this has been a Suppressed Signal.
Yeah, along with Mark, Kenny, Drew, and myself, Suppressed Signal, and we will continue this next week. It's coming up. Stick around. Swap Shop, Drew Magruder.
Every morning, you wake up to the same headlines, the same stories, the same version of the truth. But what if there's more they're not telling you? This is the Suppressed Signal, where we explore the stories behind the story and the questions no one wants asked. This program discusses speculative topics, alternative theories, and unverified claims. It is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion and critical thinking are strongly encouraged. And remember, the truth is out there.